Chapter 2. Man, did Yoda get owned in that last episode? Yeah, there's no coming back from that, is there? Welcome to Fantropolis. This is Chapter 2 of the Star Wars rewrite. Maul brings Mace back to Naboo just to speak with Palpatine personally. Mace says he's taking a chance with him. He just walked out on the Jedi Council. Sidious says you also might just be keeping some tabs on me. He smiles and says, "It's okay. We hide nothing here. We are truth seekers and liberators." Sidious shows Mace how beautiful Naboo is, and how it's thriving in every way possible. He points out they have their own academy, although you do have to be a certain age to train. No recruiting kids this time. Being a Jedi or a Sith should be a personal choice an adult should make. And there are no limits to what you can learn. You can be trained in all aspects of the Force. Mace wanted to find something wrong with this entire thing, but he couldn't. Palpatine was making some really good points. Mace asks if there's a place for him to rest and meditate further. He's shown this huge house. Palpatine says it belongs to him. Palpatine says he wants Mace to be one of their top trainers. We both know you hate just sitting there. It's time for you to do what you're good at. Picking up a lightsaber, and he points out he knows that Mace has studied several forms. Down the way, Anakin is loving his new home. No sand in sight. He had this big backyard which he could pretend to be a Jedi or Sith. Whichever he decided, that's what Palpatine says. When he becomes of age, he would be trained, and his mother didn't have to work another day in her life. The Naboo Council made sure no one ever did. Maul is training a class when he is approached by Jar Jar Binks. He requests to be trained. The class laughs, but Maul does not. He says Naboo has an all-around inclusive policy. He goes, if a Gungan wants to be trained, then so be it. I mean, how bad could he be, right? Back at the palace, Queen Amidala is having a meeting with Palpatine. She's still worried. Once word gets out how successful Naboo is, others will try to invade. They might have an alliance with the Gungans, but how big as an army can they really stand against? Palpatine listens to her concerns. He says he thought of all this. He says this is the training ground for both Sith and Jedi. This is the first time in history the two sides have done this. Once news gets out, no one will dare take over. If that doesn't work, he has an idea for an army. The training of Jar Jar was rough. He knocked out an entire class by accident with one kick. Maul had no clue how this was possible, but Jar Jar was committed. Maul respected this. Jar Jar even calls him his friend. Maul is taken back by this. He says he's never had a friend. Jar Jar tells him he's his best friend. Maul puts his arm around Jar Jar and goes, "Yes, best friends." Watto is upset over his non-paid employees being taken from him. He arranges a meeting with the Hutts about this injustice. He says, "This is ridiculous. How could a Jedi just take what happened to their moral code?" The Hutts agree. They will be sending out a bounty on this Jedi and return Anakin and his mother back to him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Do you like my chaotic Star Wars story? Can't be any worse than other Star Wars stories, right? Please leave your comment, the like, and as always, follow the road sign. When Watto got back home, he began to speak to himself. "This is going to be satisfying. That Jedi will be working for me if he lives." There's a knock on the door. It's Anakin's unfinished droid. "You piece of spare parts! What are you doing here?" The droid just takes a blaster and shoots Watto in the head. He falls to the ground, dead. The droid says this is the new age of droids, and it's about to begin.